in particular, like the world we're living in right now.
Mhm.
I think my going into that next question, why do you think it's so important for young people in particular, like this month is celebrating Native Heritage Month, and why is it so important for us to learn about it?
Well, I think it's really important as the country comes to grips with our history and just how we came to be as a country and the sacrifices and a lot of the loss of life and land and resources that took place in order for this country to be who it is today is really important. So I know that more and more communities and cities across the country are doing land acknowledgements just to
Yeah.
acknowledge the indigenous peoples of the area. But I think it's also one of those interesting times to learn more about where Native people are in a contemporary situation, because a lot of people like to look at us as historical icons, when in fact we have a very vibrant and fluid culture that is continually evolving. And there are wherever there's a community, a city, a town, there's always Native people there. It's just a matter of looking for them. So it's always important to learn that. And so some of the things that we've been seeing, systemic educational changes that we've been working on here in Oregon and Washington. Oregon, we worked on SB 13, which required the inclusion of tribal history into the public education curriculum. So kids K through 12 are going to have some iteration of curriculum that really includes place-based history and tribal cultural overviews of which tribes are from that area and some of the history of the state itself. So.
Oh, that's super powerful. And one of the things I think you said, Eddie, that I didn't know, when we started with the land acknowledgement. So what you're saying, like these practices going across, that's how we opened up as a school. That's how we started our celebration, is to honor the land acknowledgement. And so I'm glad to see like we're aligning to, that as well. What you said about 70% of Native population living in urban settings, like that's something I didn't even know. So I think that that's important information, definitely. Like you said, it's not this, and it's not widely known. So I appreciate, for myself, I didn't even, a statistic I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're seeing more and more people, and that was not an accident. So it was actually a policy of assimilation that happened in the 50s and 60s with the federal relocation program. So some cities do have large Native populations, but some are more established, just because like Denver was a relocation site, Seattle, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Portland as well. So
yeah, wow. My last question is, why do you think it's important for young people to know this history and to know not just the history, but as you said, like what the current dynamics are? Why is it important for young people?
Well, I think the misnomer is that you can have American history without tribal and Native American history. They are one and the same, and so it's just a matter of perspective and the systems that have chosen to show us what part of history was tenable and to certain folks. And so it is important to really look at history's full picture and really understand that tribes and Native Americans have always had an incredible and significant role in that history. And so I think it's important to even trace our roots back of our democracy. The style of our democracy has been overlaid with the Iroquois Confederacy, and so there are certain things that I think people just are whenever given the opportunity to learn more about. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Eddie,